necessarily I'm getting billed for that. Even that can be tracked using the CloudWatch. You can create and weave the dashboards. Okay, so collect, monitor, respond, as well as analysis. So these things are possible in CloudWatch. Collect the metrics as well as the log, monitor those, respond to those, and analyze those logs. So this is how your CloudWatch metrics. Now, what do you mean by CloudWatch metric? Now, for example, see, CPU utilization is the metrics, but which it is related to which service? It is related to EC2 service. So different services will have different matrices. And now I want to monitor the CPU utilization. Yes, but for which EC2 instance, right? For which EC2 instance? Now this is the specific EC2 instance. So we can say this is the dimension. Okay. This is the dimension. So maybe I am having thousands of EC2 instances, but out of those 1000 EC2 instances, I am interested in this instance ID. I am specifying that instance ID, and that will be the dimension for monitoring. Okay. Now, CloudWatch ingests and tracks metrics so you can search and visualize your data. Now, see, it is showing me the CPU utilization over the time. So it was high, maybe it reached 75% at some point of time, and it was there for this duration. Then it came down. Then again, it exceeded. It was almost stable for this time. And again, it came down. Okay, it is just 25%. So this is how we can see the CPU utilization metrics in CloudWatch. Now, what are the types of the logs that can be collected in CloudWatch? Or not only CloudWatch, what are the different types of logs which are there in AWS? Okay, in AWS resources, what are the types of logs? We are very much aware of this CloudWatch log, right? CloudWatch logs. We are having CloudTrail log. We are even having the VPC flow log. What is the difference? CloudWatch log, it monitors apps using the log data, store and access the log files. I will show you this. Okay, CloudTrail log. So let us see quickly first three, and you are very free to create your own custom logs as well. Okay, so if your application needs some different monitoring, I will say ways, then you can create your own logs as well. Now let us quickly see this CloudWatch log. So if I just go to the CloudWatch service, okay, now see, you can see logs and you can see metrics. So it collects log, it collects metrics as well. So if I go to logs, logs are stored in log groups. Now, if I go to the log groups, these log groups are created by, can be user created, as well as these are automatically created as well. Okay. So if these are created by automatically by the CloudWatch service, then or the services which are pushing their logs to the CloudWatch, it will always start with /AWS. Okay. See, /AWS DynamoDB /AWS Guard Duty. I have not created it. Okay. So which one I have created? I have created this one. Even not this. I have created this one. Log group for CloudTrail, Pune VPC public subnet log group. I have created system commands. Okay, so these are the log groups created by me. So now from the name itself, you can find out that it is going to collect the logs from that Pune VPC. And now those logs, actually it is not there. Okay, it was not stored for that duration maybe. Okay, so it is not available right now. But if you go to any log, maybe, let me see whether these are the store. Yes, these are the guard duty related logs are those. And these are known as streams. Okay, log, this is known as log stream. And if I go here, you can see the details. Now, what are the details? See, it is related for scanning my EC2 instance maybe. Okay, so it is just showing me all the details of my scan. Then the second stream. Okay, so definitely it is in this JSON format. Okay, but it becomes easy if you want to parse this information with some third-party log monitoring tool. So this format is acceptable everywhere, right? And that's why it becomes easy if your output, you are getting it in this format. So these are the streams. These are the streams of log. The streams will have end time, start time, and so forth. So if I go here, it is not showing me here. Okay. So now if I go to metrics, now every service will have different metrics. So whatever services I'm running, I'm just getting this here. Now if I simply go to some region which I'm rarely using, for example, Seoul. Seoul में मैं कभी जाती ही नहीं हूँ. So if I go there and if I go to this CloudWatch, see what happens. Okay. So metrics. See, it is not showing me anything here. Okay. It is not showing me anything here. But if I go to Oregon region, okay, you can see these metrics are there. What it indicates? ये services मैंने use किए हैं यहाँ Oregon में. And because in Seoul, I have not used any service, I can't see anything here. Okay, there is nothing here. Even on the dashboard, there is nothing there. Okay, everything is empty here. Nothing is there. So if I go to the region which I'm normally using, you can see lots of things over here. Now, these are the services. Now, for example, I'm interested in, let us say, EC2 service. So today itself, I have used these services, extract as well as translate. Okay. So that translate service is used to translate in different languages. Okay. I was just elaborating those topics in my morning batch today. So see, even those logs, I have not created this log group. I have not created it, but those logs even got created. Okay. I used Hindi language today, Hindi and English conversion. So it is showing me English and Hindi languages only. Okay, fine. So this is how the logs are getting created. Even you can collect the log from CloudTrail as well as your VPC and send it in a centralized location. As we have just seen, these EC2 instances or maybe even on-premises server as well. Not only EC2 instances, on-premises server. Like in on-premises server, to be able to send the log to this CloudWatch should have unified CloudWatch agent install on it. Remember, ये एक एजेंट होता है. ये एजेंट अगर ये सर्वर पे आपने इंस्टॉल किया तो आपके ऑन प्रीमाइसेस सर्वर्स भी उसके लॉग जो है वो क्लाउड वॉच में स्पेसिफिक लॉग ग्रुप में सेंड कर सकते हैं. नॉर्मल केसेस में, नाउ जस्ट टेक एग्जांपल ऑफ दिस EC2. ओके, नाउ लेट मी टेल यू. इफ आई जस्ट गो टू माय EC2 सर्विस नाउ, even if I do nothing here, okay, even if I do nothing, if I simply go to EC2 service, I am having 3 instances running there. Okay, let us take any instance. Let us say this will Delhi VPC public subnet. This is a monitoring tab. Okay, if I go to monitoring, see, these logs are already been sent to CloudWatch. I can monitor it from here, but if I want to see the detailed view of it, I can select the option View in Matrix. And when I select View in Matrix, I just see that metric in CloudWatch. See, now you will see that metric in the CloudWatch. Okay, so this is the CPU utilization matrix. Okay, it was almost 0%. It was not at all exceeded any value or something. But now certain things to be noted here. This period, it is 5 minutes. Okay, this 5 minutes. So what it indicates, first of all, this monitoring is the basic monitoring. Okay, so ये सब जो metrics दिख रहे हैं आपको, ये सिर्फ free है everything. I'm not paying anything for this. And the default monitoring interval is 5 minutes. Every after 5 minutes, my resources will get monitored. But if I do not want that time period, I want it to be little bit lesser, maybe 1 minute or something, then I need to enable this detailed monitoring. Now, this detailed monitoring has multiple advantages. First of all, using this detailed monitoring, you know what is going to happen? First thing, that data point which is the time interval through which I can monitor the resources, will be 1 minute. Okay. If I install unified cloud agent, CloudWatch agent, even it can be in seconds as well. Okay. Third thing, I can monitor certain metrics which are not available freely. For example, I want to see memory utilization. Okay, it is not there. Memory utilization, my space utilization, free space, disk, or we can say disk utilization is the proper word. Disk utilization. So these metrics, memory utilization and disk utilization, these are very crucial. Okay, but these are not available in the बेसिक मॉनिटरिंग. सो अगर मुझे मेरा रैम कितना यूटिलाइज हो रहा है और स्टोरेज स्पेस कितना यूटिलाइज हो रहा है ये भी देखना है, देन आई हैव टू एनेबल detailed monitoring. And detailed monitoring, as I told you, it is not free. You have to pay for that. Okay. And this again need that CloudWatch agent installed on it. ये जो बाकी के जो metrics हमने देखे, CPU utilization and something, that doesn't need CloudWatch agent. Okay. So these metrics, network in, network out, disk read operation, something. Okay. So it doesn't need the CloudWatch agent. लेकिन अगर आपको memory and maybe I will say disk space utilization भी monitor करना है, then you need to go for this one, manage detailed monitoring. Got it? So just try to understand the difference. These are the basic things which you need to understand. Yes. Now we can analyze these log groups and we can even filter the metrics. For example, अगर ये log group में कुछ errors आ रहे हैं, I just want to filter that metric, right? And I can analyze those metrics as well. CloudTrail. It is used to log and monitor account activity across your AWS infrastructure. Now, those activities can be through API calls or maybe management console or whatever. And if you create your own CloudTrail, then those logs will be pushed to the S3 bucket. And those logs will be in compressed format. It will be in .gz format. Okay. ये जो log, CloudTrail के log S3 bucket में जाते हैं, वो हमेशा compressed होते हैं. And they will have gz extension. Expect this question in your exam. Okay. CloudTrail helps you understand events in your account. So who shut down the specific instance? What activities were denied due to lack of permission? Let us say one user is there. He is trying to delete the S3 bucket and he got access denied message. Even that will get logged here. And access denied because of permission. Who changed the security group's configuration? So all these activities can be there in the CloudTrail. So you can see CloudTrail something like this. Who made the request? Who made the request? So Alice user has made the request. This is the account ID and access key ID associated with Alice. And this is the ARN of Alice. Okay. What was the focus of the request? What Alice did? Alice did something on this EC2 instance. Okay. She did something on, yes, we know what she has done because we have started with that only. It is something related to EC2 instance, right? Okay, fine. So it is on this specific instance ID. And what is the time? When did this occur? Let us say she stopped the EC2 instance. Okay. Which EC2 instance? This EC2 instance. When did she do that? It is this date and timestamp. What was her action? Stopping the EC2 instance. Where that instance was basically located? It was in US West 2 region. Right? What was Alice's source IP address? What is the IP address of the device from which Alice was doing this task? See, everything will get captured. Everything will get captured. And what was the user agent? She was using the API tool. Okay. So EC2 API command maybe she is using to perform this task. So when did the request occur? What was the call? When did it occur? All these activities are captured. Another example. What was the response? Alice ने तो instance stop किया है, okay. लेकिन response क्या है? Now it is initially showing you the stopping state. At what time it was showing you stopping everything? Similarly, flow logs, VPC flow log. If you monitor the traffic which is coming inside your VPC, and living outside your VPC, you can enable VPC flow log. And I have shown you yesterday as well, these VPC flow logs can be enabled at 3 levels: VPC level, subnet level, as well as the interface level as well. Okay. And these logs again can be pushed to the CloudWatch, S3 bucket, and you can monitor those. And you in S3 bucket, that will be again in zip file. Remember, whenever the logs will be pushed to the S3 bucket, they will always be in the zip file. Most of the time, it is the .gz extension. Okay, what VPC flow log does? Capture IP traffic information going to and from your VPC network interfaces. Now, this VPC flow log looks something like this. Okay, you should understand what the record will look like. Every record will have the version, account ID, from which account, to which account this VPC belongs to, interface ID from where it is capturing the, I will say, logs, source IP address, destination IP address, source port, destination port, kahan se traffic aa raha hai, kahan ja raha hai. Okay. So from here, I can interpret that it is from the EC2 instance, because 170 doesn't make sense. But let us say there is one instance outside of your VPC and one is inside your, this is our EC2 instance. Ye koi outside computer hai. Okay. So it is communicating with this instance. So what is the source IP address? What is the destination? So maybe it is the public IP address of EC2 instance. Iska source port kya hai? Iska destination port kya hai? So 443. Okay. Protocol. कितने पैकेट सेंड किए हैं, उनके बाइट्स क्या है, स्टार्ट बाइट क्या है, एंड बाइट क्या है, वेदर दैट वाज एक्सेप्टेड और रिजेक्टेड. नाउ दिस इज वेरी क्रूशियल. वो ट्रैफिक जो आ रहा था उसे एक्सेप्ट किया गया या डिनाई किया गया, वो भी आप यहाँ से देख सकते हैं. समटाइम्स यूजर कंप्लेंट्स यू, ऐसा भी क्वेश्चन एक्सपेक्ट करो एग्जाम में कि यू आर गेटिंग अ कंप्लेंट दैट सम यूजर इज ट्राइंग टू कनेक्ट टू द EC2 इंस्टेंस और वो कनेक्ट नहीं कर पा रहा है. ओके. सो आप आई विल से ट्रबल शूट करना चाहते हो तो आप क्या देख सकते हो कि what is the actual problem. From here as well you can see what is happening, whether it was accepted or rejected, उसे deny किया है या something. And then we can, this time is in seconds maybe. And then status, ये status log हुआ है या नहीं. Yes, this is what your flow log is. Now alarms and event, CloudWatch alarms. If you want to create the CloudWatch alarm, it has to be associated with some metrics. You can create your alarms based on metrics. For example, CPU utilization. Now, I can create alarm that if my CPU utilization is greater than equal to 60%, then if it is really greater than equal to 60%, this is my threshold, the alarm will get triggered. And once it is triggered, you can even define the action to take when your matrix threshold is exceeded. For example, अगर ये 60% जाता है, so my response will be either I want to stop that EC2 instance or maybe I want to trigger the auto scaling group as well. So you can see there are 3 states associated with the alarm: okay, alarm, as well as insufficient data. So जब आप alarm create करते हो, initially it will always show you insufficient data because you know हमारा data point जो है वो 5 minutes का है. So it will almost take 5 minutes to gather the data. 5 minutes वो रुकने ही वाला है. And फिर it is going to show you whether the threshold is more greater than or equal to 60%. It is going to check it. If it is not, then it is going to show you the status as okay. And अगर CPU utilization 60 के ऊपर गया, and again that is for 5 minutes continuously. सिर्फ 1 second ऊपर जाने से कुछ नहीं होगा. It has to be same for 5 minutes. और अगर वो 5 minute तक लगातार 60% के ऊपर है, then only it will show you the alarm state. Okay. So this is how it looks. So this is the CPU utilization, metric name, instance. This is the dimension. Statistic, you are just going to find the average CPU utilization, and period is 5 minutes. And data point 2 of 2. Data point means time, 5 minutes. 5 minutes के 2 बार के interval यहाँ लिए है. Okay. So this is what the data point is. Now you can see here it was okay. Here it was alarm. Okay. And again it was okay something. Event breach. Amazon CloudWatch event. So see, initially हम ये सब events CloudWatch event से देखते थे. But now AWS has just changed it. Okay, so if I just go to CloudWatch, these are the events. Okay, so initially हम यहाँ से सब rule बनाते थे और सब कुछ करते थे, but recently AWS has designed this service in a new service form. See, automatically वो event bridge के तरफ जा रहा है. Have you observed this? Have you observed this? Where I was in CloudWatch and I was just simply clicked on the events and automatically now it has become event bridge. Okay, so don't worry, event bridge is nothing but जिसे हम पहले CloudWatch events कहते थे, वो अब event bridge बना है और अलग से सर्विस आया है. Okay, so here you can create the rules. And something. So what is this event bridge? Is now part of Amazon Cloud Event Bridge. Send messages to respond to the environment, activate functions or initiate some action, and capture state information. Okay. So CloudWatch services are going to send the events to the event bridge, and then depending upon the rule, it can create the alarms. So this is how it works. EC2 instance, the metric data, CPU utilization. Okay, so CloudWatch metric, it is going to the CloudWatch service. Now CloudWatch is creating the alarm. For example, if the CPU utilization is 90%, then क्या हो रहा है? It is going to the event bridge. Okay, and then event bridge, either it can send it to the destination third-party monitoring tool or whatever we have done. Okay, and secondly, it can even send the notification. Okay, so this is what your CloudWatch is. So here we are going to see all these things. Now it will be very easy for you, okay? Because हमने already सब कुछ देख लिया है, so it will be very quick now. So nothing here. Let me go to Amazon CloudWatch. I request you to read it carefully. एक बार तो पढ़ना है ही. Otherwise, you will not be able to answer the 195 and 196 cases for. Okay, so if you, once we are going to do this, see, आपका पूरा knowledge जो है ना, वो यहाँ लगने वाला है अभी. When we are going to go for these two cases, 195 as well as 196. And don't miss it, इसको 51 points है और इतने difficult question है यहाँ. Unless and until you read it carefully, okay, आप ये आंसर नहीं दे सकते वहां के. And that is the reason I am asking you कि उसे at least एक बार, क्लाउड प्रैक्टिशनर इसेंशियल एग्जाम के हिसाब से ये इतना इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, लेकिन हमें केसेस भी करने हैं. यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू आंसर करेक्टली if you read it properly. So here, see, we have already seen all these things. It will be very easy now. CloudWatch, basic monitoring, advanced monitoring or detailed monitoring, CloudWatch metric, alarm as well as event. So it will be very easy now. Yes. To use AWS in an efficient way, you need insight into your AWS resources. How do you know when you should launch more Amazon Elastic EC2 instances? ठीक है, आपको कैसे पता चलेगा कि अभी extra EC2 instances launch करने का time आया है? Okay, so you need some monitoring, right? CPU utilization or something. So इसके लिए monitoring tools की जरूरत है हमारे पास. Is your application performance or availability is being affected because of insufficient capacity? Are you running out of the capacity? How much of your infrastructure is actually being used? Are there any resources which are just sitting idle there? Okay, so that is something which comes under monitoring. So CloudWatch service. When you monitor workload performance, you should ask yourself two questions. How can you ensure that your workload has enough resources to meet fluctuating performance requirement? And how can you automate resource provisioning to occur on demand? So see, we can trigger your auto scaling group depending on our CloudWatch alarm. Now, if I take you there in my CloudWatch service once again, and right now I am having some instances in my account. Okay, for example, this Delhi VPC public subnet. Now, if I want to monitor that, okay, I will go to metrics. I will select EC2 here. Let me select EC2. Now, for EC2, I am having two options. These are per instance, otherwise I can monitor the entire auto scaling group. Let me just go to per instance. So हर एक instance को अगर monitor करना है तो what are the metrics? These are the default one. CPU utilization, network in. Okay, we have seen this. Now let us say I want to monitor CPU utilization. लेकिन कौन से instance का monitor करना है? By default it has taken something randomly 11F. If I go back here, now it is the different instance. I want to monitor this one. So what I will do, I can simply copy this instance ID from the detail. This is the instance ID. I will come back to my CloudWatch and now here I will just filter it. Now see, it is just going to show me the CPU utilization of that instance. Now these are lots of matrices. I will simply select CPU utilization. If I want to see it, something like this in line graph, I can go for number. Okay, I want to see the number. So it is this percentage. If I want to see bar graph, it will be something like this and so forth. This is real-time monitoring. This is in Oregon region. I can download this as CSV file and something. I can weave the logs. See, now I'm going to the log group. See, I got connected to the log group. And there is no log created for this. Okay, definitely I will see it in the EC2 one. So I don't have any log group created for the EC2 instance. Basically, that is the reason I'm not getting any log there. I've not created it. Okay, now back to the CloudWatch. Even I can, you are going to do it in your lab as well. So you can create alarm. Right now I'm having one. Let me delete it. You can create alarm, select metric, and again I will go for EC2 service here. And per instance, again, same instance which I have just selected, and same metric may be CPU utilization. Let me select this metric. And now see, the namespace. This is known as namespace. So AWS is using this namespace to just differentiate metrics created by different services. AWS हमेशा कॉमन रहेगा, AWS स्लैश, एंड फिर उसके बाद आता है सर्विस का नाम. फॉर एग्जाम्पल ये S3 का है, देन इट वुड बी AWS slash S3. If it is RDS, AWS slash RDS. This is known as namespace. Metric name is CPU utilization. Instance ID, we know it. This is the dimension. This is known as dimension. And then this is the instance name. And this is the data point, 5 minutes. Now threshold. What is your threshold value? So let us say I want to keep the threshold value as greater than or equal to, let us say, 50% something. So this is my threshold value. Some additional configuration. So if you want to change the data point, I will not do that because it will be the chargeable one. And now if these are the 3 states in alarm, okay, and insufficient data. Initially it will be insufficient data only. Then if it actually reaches that value, then what you want to do? You want to get the notification, you can select this. Okay, so if it needs the notification topic created, what action you want to do? Do you want to add auto scaling action for that? So in that case, अगर ये alarm create हो जाता है, Do you want to use some auto scaling group to launch the instances? Then in that case, you need to provide the launch template, AMI ID, and so forth. Okay, so that you need to, I don't have any auto scaling group created, right? So I have to select that auto scaling group in that case. And then I have to select the action as well, add auto scaling action. So in that auto scaling of action, I'm going to mention everything. Okay. So again, this is possible, but because I'm not having the auto scaling group right now, I can simply take some action on the EC2 instance itself. For example, stop the instance, terminate the instance, reboot the instance, something like that. So these are the actions. Okay. Amazon CloudWatch monitors the state and utilization of most resources that you can manage under AWS. Standard metrics, custom metrics, alarms, as well as notification. These are the key concepts which are related to your CloudWatch. Let us see one by one. So as we have already talked about this. Okay, so see, this CloudWatch is even capable of retaining your logs. CloudWatch logs to capture kar raha hai, right? It is capturing the metrics data as well. So what is the retention time? कितने duration तक ये retain किया जाता है? CloudWatch retains metrics for 15 months free of charge. Okay. CloudWatch metrics support the following 3 retention schedule. 1 minute data point के लिए 15 days free. 5 minutes data point के लिए 63 days and 1 hour data point के लिए it is 455 days. So what is 1 hour data point? It is going to monitor your resources every after 1 hour. That's why logs will be less comparatively. And that is the reason it is keeping it for long duration. Amazon CloudWatch. If CPU utilization is greater than 60% for 5 minutes. Okay, so this is the example of CloudWatch alarm. If number of simultaneous connection is greater than 10 for 1 minute for load balancer. For RDS, if number of healthy host is less than 5 for 10 minutes. So these, you can create different alarms as per your requirement. What are the action? For EC2, you can either stop, terminate, or reboot it, or you can recover it. You can go for auto scaling, or you can even send the notification or emails. These are the 3 states I have talked about. Okay, alarm as well as insufficient data. CloudWatch monitoring again. So EC2 instance with CloudWatch detailed monitoring. So it will be having that CloudWatch unified CloudWatch agent install. अगर वो agent installed है तभी memory utilization को monitor किया जाएगा. Okay, so for memory utilization, you must have that CloudWatch agent installed on it. Okay, but CPU utilization is a standard metric. It doesn't require that agent. Neither it is paid one. Okay, so if you are within the data point, इसके लिए आप कुछ pay भी नहीं कर रहे. So these metrics, so this HTTP memory utilization is considered as a custom metrics and CPU utilization is considered as a standard metrics. So CloudWatch is capable of capturing all these metrics and it is going to create the alarms as well. If the utilization exceeded certain percentage maybe. Then what are the action? Again, it can go to the SQS service, SNS service, and it can even be going to some third-party paging or tracking systems. Now, this is what the correct example is. So, this is the data point of 5 minutes. As I already told you, CPU utilization बहुत ऊपर चला गया, but it was just for few seconds. Okay, it was just for few seconds, not consistently for 5 minutes. So, उसका alarm create नहीं होता है. Okay, so see. This is the threshold. Blue line is the threshold and red line is the actual value. So ये जो graph दिख रहा है ये below threshold है. इसे कुछ problem ही नहीं है. But here it is above threshold. Both the things. But this is above threshold for continuously 5 minutes. And that's why alert or alarm will get triggered. For this action, alarm will not get triggered because it is just the one data point. Okay, so or maybe very less time. It is not continuously for defined period of 5 minutes. This is the time period. Okay, read it carefully. Your understanding will become more clear. And these are the various components related to matrix. Namespace, I have told you. Dimensions, I have told you. For example, instant ID is the dimension for CPU utilization, right? Namespace, I have just told you. AWS slash something is the namespace. Period, even we have talked about two periods, right? One is the 5-minute interval and 1-minute interval. So all these things have been mentioned here in little bit more detail. I request you to go through this and read it properly. So namespace. Then they have a good discussion on dimensions as well as time period. So see, in this example, AWS slash S3 is the namespace. And what is the dimension? You are specifically selecting a bucket or some glaciers type of storage. So this is what the dimension is. Standard metrics as well as custom metrics. I have just differentiated both. Okay. So these are the default one and it will be get retained for 15 months. Monitoring and security. CloudWatch to monitor for suspicious activities as well, such as unusual, prolonged spike in the service uses, such as CPU, disk activity or relational database. अगर normal behavior से ज़्यादा utilize हो रहा है, so that is something suspicious. And you can set alert on billing metrics as well. For example, अगर मेरा bill such and such dollar के ऊपर जा रहा है, okay? So even I can create the CloudWatch alerts there, alarms there. These are the dashboards of CloudWatch. I have already talked about it earlier. So you can have different metrics over here of related to different services and you can see it in different graphs as well. So if you just go to the CloudWatch service once again, you can see here the dashboard. You can create your own dashboard. Okay, for example, I have created this demo dashboard. Then I can add visits here, multiple services which I want to monitor. So for example, I want to monitor the line graph. Okay. For what? For let us say EC2 instance again. I will select the specific EC2 instance. Okay, let us say S3 bucket. Number of objects. I have to specify the bucket as well. Once I select the bucket, it is just going to count the number of objects in my bucket. Okay, so I want it on a front page. Okay, so I can definitely have to define the bucket. I think I missed that step somewhere. Let us add once again. And now I will use the same instance ID. Maybe this is the one. This time I am creating dashboard. Create widget. So on my widget, I will see the CPU utilization of which instance, the one I have selected. Okay, let me save it. Let me add one more. Maybe it is for specific bucket. So again, next. This time it is for S3. Let me select my bucket. Let me go to my S3 service. Let me just select any bucket randomly. So for example, let me use this bucket. Okay. I can select any provided it is having object. So it is the one. What is the ARN of this bucket, or what is the name? SEMA-5000. It is easy for me to filter it. Okay. So if I just go to properties, I can get the ARN. Let me go to CloudWatch. Okay, so it has taken some different bucket and it is for number of objects as well. Okay, it has taken that cloud trail bucket something. Anyway, so my intention was here to show you how now this is related to EC2. This is related to S3. I can add something, some other services as well. This is what your dashboard is. This is something like this. Okay. Activate detail instance monitoring. So it is not free tier eligible. Okay. So by default, EC2 instance only report data every 5 minutes. Enable detailed monitoring to an instance to increase the reporting frequency to once every minute, and extra charges will apply for that. Okay. So this was the high level overview of CloudWatch. We are going to go in a deep dive of this CloudWatch as well. Okay. So your next topic will be deep diving. Shall we cover it today or shall we go for tomorrow? Yes.
Tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
Okay, fine, fine. Because it will take half an hour. We are okay. So tomorrow, what we will do? We will go for this Amazon CloudWatch deep dive. Okay, and then there is a good lab. Don't miss that lab. मैं यहाँ नहीं करने वाली हूँ lab because it will take a lot of time. Okay, we are having less days now. I have to complete it at the most Monday or Tuesday. Tuesday तक हमारा पूरा syllabus complete होना चाहिए. Okay, but it doesn't mean that ki I will not be there to help you. I'll be there. Okay, but officially I need to complete this so that you will be eligible for your registration of the examination. Okay, so anyway, so tomorrow we will start with this CloudWatch. Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.